It's time for Elder Law Matters Radio. Elder law issues can be overwhelming and complicated for families to deal with. Elder Law Matters will demystify all areas of elder law and estate planning through conversation, interviews, and case studies. Each week, partner Melissa Negrin-Weiner will walk you through the twists and turns of planning for your future or caring for an aged loved one. If you want to protect yourself and your family and preserve your assets, or if you're a caregiver for an aged loved one, then Elder Law Matters Radio is for you. Now it's time for Elder Law Matters Radio with your host, Melissa Negrin-Weiner.
Hi, this is Melissa Negrin-Weiner with Cona Elder Law, and you're listening to Elder Law Matters, our podcast where we discuss different issues regarding elder law and estate planning. Today's topic is dealing with incapacity and guardianship, and how to help families who are struggling with caring for a loved one with dementia. So I'm going to start off talking a little bit about guardianship and incapacity and how all of that works from the legal end. And then later on, we're going to hear from Melissa Katz, who is with the Long Island Alzheimer's and Dementia Center, formerly Long Island Alzheimer's Foundation. And she's going to talk a little bit about their programming and how they can help family members who are helping loved ones with dementia. So just real quick to talk about guardianship. What is it? Where does it come from? People kind of know a little bit about it, but not much. And guardianship is really a last resort, and that's why it's kind of an unknown. So we talk all the time about advance directives, powers of attorney, healthcare proxies, living wills, documents that you sign when you have full capacity, stating who you would want to step into your shoes and handle your finances or handle your medical decisions if you were to become incapacitated. So if you were to have an accident, an injury, or an illness that caused you to no longer be able to make decisions for yourself, you are able to put down on paper who you want to jump in and take over for you. The problem is, a lot of people don't do these documents. They don't complete them. They don't think about it as something that they need to do once they turn 18. So before your 18th birthday, your parents are your legal guardians. They make the decisions for you. If you need to do something at the bank, or if you need to have your tonsils taken out, or whatever might have to happen as a younger person, your parents are the ones making decisions. But once you turn 18, that all goes away, and that may be, a day of celebration for you. Yay, I get to make my own decisions now. I can vote and I can do what I want. But the truth of the matter is things happen to people that that once they turn 18, unfortunately. There are accidents, car accidents, freak accidents, illnesses, injuries, that can cause people to lose capacity, lose mental capacity. And while we don't like to think about it when we're young, it's really important to have these documents in place. A lot of people will associate the power of attorney and the healthcare proxy with the elderly, well, I'm getting old, I'm getting up there, I should probably sign these documents. But we really try to get the point across, and I'm probably beating it with a dead horse right now. But it's really important for people to have those documents in place once they turn the age of 18. And, we always really stress it in the summer and during the holiday break that kids that are home from college should come in and have these documents put into place. It's really very important, especially when younger individuals are, in college and they're maybe out of state or whatever, and you don't want to be a parent who gets that phone call that, something's going on medically and you can't get any information over the phone. So I'm going to stop preaching about that. What happens is if those documents are not in place, whether it be for a 19-year-old or an 87-year-old, and there is an issue with capacity, and something has to happen, whether it's a medical decision or a financial decision, the family has no choice but to bring a guardianship proceeding. And that means we have to file a petition with the court laying out what happened, why this person doesn't have capacity, what it is that we need to do, and why we need to become their legal guardian in order to do it. So drafting the petition, submitting it to the court, serving all the family members who have a right to know that it's happening. So if you're bringing a guardianship proceeding on behalf of a parent, that parent's spouse, if they're living, brothers, sisters, parents, if they're living, and other children, so your siblings, all have to be noticed that this is happening. So some cases, the family's all on the same page, everybody gets along, everybody knows what happened, and they know that somebody needs to step in. And that's great. And in those cases, we do what we need to do. We go into court. Court evaluator is appointed. That person talks to all the family members. They're the eyes and ears of the court. The court evaluator weighs in and lets the judge know everything is, on the up and up, and this is done, and we go through the process. We do the paperwork. We get the guardian appointed. We're still looking at about 3 months that has to go by before that person is actually commissioned to act on behalf of the incapacitated person. And we're looking at legal fees, and the court evaluator has to be paid, and all of that has to happen. That can all be avoided with a power of attorney and healthcare proxy. But unfortunately, what happens more often is we don't have the family that's on the same page. We have a guardianship, being brought by somebody in the family because maybe mom or dad is being taken advantage of financially, and they are bringing the guardianship proceeding, and everybody has to be noticed, just like I said before. But now other family members are getting their own attorneys, and they're cross-petitioning, and they should be the guardian, or they don't think mom needs a guardian. And it turns into, a situation that could just take months and months and months and really cost tens of thousands of dollars in legal fees once all of these attorneys get involved. And it's just not something that you want to have to do. So we really, really, try to stress the importance of having the power of attorney, having the healthcare proxy in place to make sure that the people that you want to be making decisions for you, if you can't make them for yourself, are the people that are doing it, and not somebody off a list that the judge appoints because your family members can't decide and they can't get along. So, it's great that we have the ability to go through our court system, to have guardians appointed if we need to, but really, ideally, you should be able to choose who you want to make those important decisions for you if you can't make them for yourself. So keep that in mind. It's important to have the documents in place. If you don't have them in place for, a loved one who, unfortunately has become incapacitated and can no longer execute the documents, then, guardianship is the way to go. And we try to make it as painless as possible, but unfortunately, depending on family situations and just also, the time that it takes to do the paperwork, to put the paperwork through the court system, it can be quite a grueling task. But it's there for us to utilize if we need it. We're going to come back in a little bit and talk to Melissa Katz from the Long Island Alzheimer's and Dementia Center and hear about all the interesting things they have going on, helping people with dementia and also helping people now during this COVID-19 crisis when they cannot open their doors. So they're helping people out in the field. Hi, and welcome back to Elder Law Matters. I'm Melissa Megan Wiener, partner at Cona Elder Law. And joining us today on our podcast is Melissa Katz of the Long Island Alzheimer's and Dementia Center. Melissa, thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Can you talk to us a little bit about the Long Island Alzheimer's and Dementia Center and the programs that are offered there?
Yes, absolutely. So myself, I'm a clinical social worker and the director of Caregiver Services and Grant Management. We are located in Westbury, but our services are open to really anyone that is able to get to us. So we do have families that come from Suffolk County and from Queens to use our services. So our center is known as sort of like a one-stop shop for services for individuals and families living with Alzheimer's and all related dementias. We do have our social adult day program in Westbury Monday through Saturday for the diagnosed, and we offer programs for early, moderate, and late-stage individuals. So the program staff facilitates word games, trivia, chair exercise, art therapy, and we have live music about 4 to 5 days a week, including our chorus program that we have on Saturdays, which is really a lot of fun. And then we have a Train Your Brain workshop, which is for those with mild cognitive impairment and in the earliest stages of dementia and Alzheimer's. And it's a great way for these individuals to get acquainted with our center maybe before they're quite ready for the day program. So we have programs for really all levels, from sort of pre-diagnosis through the later stages of the disease.
And the facility is really amazing. I mean, I've been there a number of times now, and it really is incredible just to see everything that goes on there. Do you offer programs also for the family members, the caregivers who are dealing with their family members that are suffering with dementia or Alzheimer's?
Yeah, so we have several support services for the family caregivers, and those are the programs that actually I'm heavily involved in. So first we have our in-home respite program, which is specifically for Nassau County residents because it is a grant that we received from Nassau County Office for the Aging. So my respite workers go into the home for 2 hours every other week free of charge. And the goal is to really provide family caregivers, with a much-needed break so they can take the 2 hours to run errands, do personal tasks around the house, maybe rest, go to lunch with friends, knowing that their loved one is safe with one of our staff members who are trained, to participate in this program. And it's a great way to introduce help in the home for the first time for families, and a great way to fill in the gaps in care. And then it's sort of a bonus that they diagnose, get the 2 hours with the staff member playing games and listening to music and doing other sort of cognitive activities. So that's a really great program that we have. And then we have a lot of educational and caregiver training. We have guest speakers such as yourself. You're wonderful, and you come every few months to give a lot of information to our families. And then I actually just facilitate several different support groups on site in Westbury. We are currently, closed temporarily because of, this pandemic we're experiencing, but all of our programming is available virtually. Like, we're doing telephonic support groups right now. We're providing a lot of programming on Facebook Live, doing the word games, chair exercise. We're trying to, prevent there being like a huge gap in services for our families. So we're trying to be there for them as much as possible. But we hope to resume soon, just like everybody else, and we're doing what we can for our families.
Yeah, that's terrific, because I can imagine that the isolation now, especially for the caregivers, this kind of having to basically quarantine with, their loved ones who's suffering from dementia, could be really overwhelming.
Yeah, absolutely. They're not getting, that break that they very much need. So they are truly, caregiving 24/7, and, that's a big emotional toll, big physical toll, especially if they're assisting with those activities of daily living. So we are trying to be there for our families as much as possible, in new ways. So we are implementing new programs each week, and we'll continue to implement new programs, for as long as it's needed.
Great, that's great. And what about is there a home care service that you provide as well?
Yeah, so the home care that we have is really that in-home respite program for the Nassau County residents, and we don't do any hands-on care. It's really the cognitive stimulation and supervision, and it's really a family caregiver grant so that they can, take the break that they need. So that's what we have in terms of home care, but we do a lot of referral services. So I'm one of 4 social workers. We're all directors of different programs, and we get a lot of phone calls, each day, each week, just looking for referrals and information, so we'll refer out when we need to.
Okay, terrific. Let me ask you this. What's the biggest piece of advice you can give to a primary caregiver for, someone who's suffering from Alzheimer's and dementia?
Yeah, it's a really great question. I would say, please reach out for support. There's no shame in that. Our organization really exists for a reason, right? So we're there to provide the entire family support, because it's truly a family disease. And we like to help show the family that there is truly life worth living after diagnosis. A caregiver's health is just as important as the individual with Alzheimer's and dementia, because it takes such a, mental, emotional, and physical toll. And it takes a lot of energy to be a family caregiver, and everyone deserves, to have that support. So we're there to help create, that sense of belonging and sense of community for our caregivers. And that's the ultimate goal, for them to meet each other, to talk to one another, to really feel supported and that they're not alone going through this.
And you definitely foster that type of environment, because when I've spoken there, and it's been, maybe a Saturday morning to a group of individuals who, first of all, they're so well educated, they so know what's going on, which I definitely would have to credit your organization for that, and they're so supportive of each other. It's amazing to just kind of experience it. So that's really, really terrific.
Thank you.
How can someone find out more about Alzheimer and Dementia Center, and how can they maybe get in touch now with the fact that you're not necessarily open to take advantage of these online programs?
Yeah, absolutely. So I would suggest checking out our website, lidementia.org. We also have a lot of information, including all the programming that we're doing on our Facebook page, the Long Island Alzheimer's and Dementia Center. We are reachable through phone, through email, so all of our contact information is on there. We are still talking to new families. We're still taking new families to provide support as much as possible. And then once we reopen, we can continue, meeting directly with families, scheduling tours, and really helping them link to the services and programs that they need, right? Because not every family maybe needs the same resources, so we help them sort of pick and choose what's best for them in their situation.
Okay, terrific. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate you giving this information out, and I hope that people take advantage of it.
Thank you so much for having me. Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you again for joining us on this episode of Elder Law Matters. And please remember to check out our website at genserlaw.com and check us out on social media. We have a great social media page, Facebook page that is chock full of information. Also, if you have any questions you want to ask me directly, you can email me at melissa@genserlaw.com. Look forward to speaking with you all again soon.
Thank you for listening to Elder Law Matters, the only show that talks about elder law and estate planning. For more information, check us out at genserlaw.com.